For today, we're diving into a topic that is super close to my heart, which is finding belonging and building your community when you're moving to a new city. And then so whether you just move to a new city or returning to your hometown or just looking for deeper connections in your own city, this episode is for you. Hi friends, welcome back to Viet Boss Babes, a Viet Village podcast for modern Vietnamese women around the world to listen and learn and thrive in their daily lives. I'm your host, Mia Nguyen, and today we are recording from Saigon. Very excited, and thank you to our friends at Viet Cetra for letting us borrow this studio on a sunny Sunday. I also have our friends joining us today, which is Sun Chang of Montreal Bread, who's also a co-founder of Offline Collective, a community in Saigon that's all about bringing people together through fun and offline events around the city. Sun Chang, welcome to Viet Boss Babes.
It's so cool. I've never had a proper intro before, and it's so nice because you always see it in podcasts, but you never really get your own. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and that's
so
amazing
cool.
that we're kicking 2025 off with you being on a podcast for the first time. So
Is that crazy? That's insane.
That is crazy.
We met at making vision boards, and look at us a week later doing
like,
podcasts.
So manifestation.
Yes, it's
works.
strong.
It works. It works. Yeah. So let's just do a quick intro, telling the audience and us about who you are as a person, as a Montreal bagel, and then coming from to Saigon and everything in between.
Okay. So my name is Sun Chang. I was born in Montreal, but I moved to Vietnam when I was 3 with my parents. We only stayed here until I was 10, and then I moved back to Montreal. So I did go to school in Vietnam for a small bit of time. Then back to Canada, did my whole entire high school, beginning of college. Then I moved to Switzerland for college. And lucky for me, I was in college during COVID, which was very, very fun, where borders were all closed. And as soon as the borders opened, I came back here to Vietnam and I've started working here. And I've been in Saigon for almost 3 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a minute that I've been back here. But
insane.
It's been fun, yeah. And I'm currently working as a conference producer for conferences in Dubai, South Africa. It's been very interesting, say the least.
And we're gonna deconstruct that throughout this episode. I would love to deconstruct what interesting means in this.
My favorite word.
Walk me back to when you first moved from Montreal to Saigon.
Okay.
Vietnamese are historically known to have moved around a lot.
Yeah.
So what was that first year like for you when you first moved?
So technically, moving to Vietnam was kind of on a whim. It wasn't something that I expected to do after graduating college. When I graduated from college, the borders were closed. So then I had to go back to Canada and I stayed there for a year. And fortunately for me, I had a remote job at the time. So it permitted me to, if I were to move somewhere else, it helped. And at that time, my parents were here. So I told myself, as soon as the borders open, I should see them. It's been 2 years. And somehow I was blessed by some sort of professional father that said, hey, I have a company in Vietnam as well. You can move to Vietnam, start working for me in that company and be with your parents. The move was not expected. I wasn't expecting to move, but it made sense for me because I wanted to go and be closer to my parents. So the shift was very interesting because I went from this very North American lifestyle with my friends, and I come here, I knew some people, but not everyone, and I was working in a completely new environment. My Vietnamese is okay, but I was judged a lot for my lack of vocabulary, and I was younger as well, young Vietnamese girl that just moved here. A lot of new challenges that I had to face. But I think everybody faces that when you move into a new country.
For sure.
I personally think it was harder for me to move back as a Vietnamese more than an expat. Because I moved here at the same time as one of my friends, and he's French, like fully French. And for him, oh my gosh, life is so good. La vie en rose, everything is good, And then I was like, I don't feel that way at all, because I had the pressure of being this good Vietnamese girl, but I couldn't speak Vietnamese fully. And then you had to be knowledgeable like the expats, but I was still so young. Yeah, the career start was a little bumpy. Bumpy at first.
Yeah, and how old were you when you were?
I was 22.
Wow, super young.
22.
Literally fresh off graduate.
22, 23,
Yeah, like basically in your early 20s, and you're just like,
Ew, I can't believe that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of Vietnamese like us, like we kind of share similar challenges, like in terms of navigating your identity, because what is Vietnamese-ness even mean, right?
Oh my gosh,
Especially when people have moved and migrated for decades, right? And so the concept of how Vietnamese are you? I think
Yeah.
that is a big question.
Oh my
that a lot of
gosh.
us usually ask if you haven't spent a lot of time here.
I mean,
Yeah.
do you feel that when you're back in Canada?
Yeah.
Do you ask yourself, am I Vietnamese enough?
Yeah, that's actually an existential crisis question.
Are we Vietnamese
Are we
enough?
Vietnamese enough? Yeah, I'm like, and then what does that even mean, right? And then it feels like there's a spectrum of Vietnameseness, and I see it as a spectrum instead of a scale, because the scale means like there's like a linear path towards being a full Viet, whereas I feel like there's so many ways that we connect with Vietnam or our Vietnamese identity. The Vietnamese diaspora is huge,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of Vietnamese people across North America that celebrate our culture by through running a podcast
Yeah.
or through making Vietnamese food, hosting dinner parties, bringing outside to North America. There's just so many ways that we try to stay connected with our Vietnamese identity without while we're physically not in the country.
Yeah.
Like there is a level of inferior complex when you come back to Vietnam and then you meet people who are so on top of the Vietnamese slangs, the Vietnamese pop culture, what's going on in the celebrity gossip in Vietnam.
Yeah.
But then there's also a lot of expats or Viet Kieu who speak like half Vietnamese, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
and you like don't always feel fully about it. And I myself also have to kind of put in a lot of effort into
Yeah.
staying on top of it.
Yeah.
And then don't even get me started about values and family
Oh my gosh.
and relationships and
No, for me, I
Yeah.
think my biggest struggle, and I mentioned this earlier, was like when you are here as somebody that was Vietnamese over there, and you come here, you're like, you're not Vietnamese enough. And then you go back there and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so Vietnamese
You're so
now.
Viet.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know where I stand, which
Yeah.
is so interesting because nobody else understands that. Because if they're already in Canada, they feel Canadian or Vietnamese from Canada. And here
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
But I think for me, I always took it as a disadvantage for a very long time. Oh, I don't speak very well Vietnamese. I can't read really well. I can't write really well. I need to force myself. And then on the flip side, I'm like, oh, I'm very westernized. Like, why? How can I tone that down? And after working 2 years in a proper Vietnamese setting, I took that more as an advantage than a disadvantage because people preferred the way I think. People preferred the way I say certain things. And yes, it's a little bit different, but that's the reason why they hired me, you know? So I guess when you see at the bright side of things, we have this awesome mix of like knowledge and stuff like that a lot of people wish to have. So ever since I kind of flipped that in my head, it took me more time to accept that. But it is something that you need to kind of stand up for more than say, you know, I'm not really good in Vietnamese. Like, what's the point, you know? But 100%, there's a million ways for you to be more Vietnamese. I have a friend, and I'm gonna continue on this, but it is a really good side track.
Yes.
He's fully Vietnamese. He lives in Montreal. And
What does that mean?
he is fully like his both parents are Vietnamese, but he's never been to Vietnam. But he's extremely proud of his roots. He is so, I want to show the world, I want to show Montreal how cool Vietnam is. So he started a soda brand for Dien Mui. And he's so proud of it, you know, like the can is like the map of Vietnam and everything. And it worked. But it only worked for white people in Canada. No Vietnamese people could relate to his drink. Despite him being so strong and so, this is Vietnam, look at this. No Vietnamese people from Canada felt connected to his product, which for me was crazy because I saw that, I'm like, you go, man, you go represent our country. And I asked him, why do you think so? And then a lot of people say, we don't have this connection to Vietnam, and for us, Dien Mui doesn't mean anything. Which is so sad.
That is so sad.
It's so sad, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many ways of. Anyways, sorry, I sidetracked.
But that is. So what does he do now with?
Yeah, he's still selling it. He's a very cool bartender, a really good friend of mine. But I just think it's cool that a lot of people want to try to bring. The Vietnamese culture is so interesting because when you compare to other Asian cultures, especially if you live from abroad, very little Vietnamese American speaks perfect Vietnamese, right?
I mean, we can go on
and on,
about that because I think that also it came from a place of survival mindset from Vietnamese immigrants. I think, from my understanding, is a lot of Vietnamese immigrant stories. Like when they came, it's a hard time. It was a hard time, and like you do what you do best, which is assimilate. right? And that means educating your kids into bringing sandwich to class, to lunch, right? And I've heard
Speak
of a
more
lot of stories.
English.
Yeah, speak more
Yeah.
English,
Yeah.
or to an extent that they might push the kids to speak English even at home sometimes, so that the kids can catch up a lot, even if the parents don't have strong English, they will still try to make that happen so that the kid blend in as quickly as they could. So in many ways, it came from like a survival instinct.
To come back to Vietnam, because we went far now. And what I love recently is the fact that a lot of people are coming back just to learn how to speak better Viet, so they can
Yes.
go home and speak to their parents. I think that's so cool
Yeah.
because I have older siblings. I'm the youngest of 3, and my oldest brother, he's 47, 48. Oh my gosh, he's so old. So 48. And he said his friends never had the interest of learning Vietnamese. Because, I mean, why? We were so focused on the grind, and I think it's generational.
Yeah.
But a lot of people our age now are coming back strictly to learn Vietnamese so they could talk to their parents, which is so rare. But they're
Yeah.
all around the same age as us. Like the
Yeah.
older, like in their 40s, they don't
Yeah.
find that as interesting. Or at least
Yeah.
I'm speaking just about my family, but I've met so many people from like different events here. They literally come back and they're like, I don't have a plan, but I'll go to VLS and I'll learn Vietnamese and I'll go home and I can talk to my parents.
Yeah.
Which that's cool.
But it's nice because it's happening now.
Yay.
The right time to start is today,
Yes.
right? So I think
Good, more flights.
yeah.
More flights to Vietnam.
Please bring direct flights
Yeah.
from the East Coast
From
to
Montreal.
Vietnam. That would be really nice.
New York, Saigon.
Yeah, New York, Saigon. That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Oh, that would be so nice, actually.
The struggle for context is that it's usually around 20, 25 hours
Oh, yeah.
flying from the East Coast of North America to Vietnam.
yeah.
There isn't a really direct flight right now.
Yeah.
So it's
A lot
hard
of
for a
hours
lot
to
of
wait.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for a lot of us who want to spend more time at home. Yeah, it's
Far,
coming.
it's
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah,
you
maybe
have
we
to-
share this episode with Vietnam Airlines.
Yeah. Please sponsor.
Please sponsor and bring a direct flight. Coming back and spending your adulthood in Saigon, with all that differences and variations of Vietnameseness, of perceived Vietnameseness of you as a
Yeah.
person, who do you hang out with in Saigon? How do
Do you
you
have
make
friends?
friends? Who are your friends,
Who are my
Trang?
friends? I love that question.
Yeah.
I did grow up here. So I came here 3 years ago with somewhat a base already because a lot of my friends that I used to go to school with are still here. That's how I met my first draft of friends, let's say. And then from there, you
First draft.
First draft. You need many drafts of friends.
It's a little Squid Game.
I kind of squiggled.
play games.
It was just like a little, pencil to paper, not yet pen.
Yeah.
Not Sharpied yet. And then from there, I got to meet other people. But because I went to French school, I started off with more of my French-speaking friends. So I got to meet their friends, and then I hung out a lot with the French people.
French Vietnamese.
French Vietnamese, French Francophone people in Saigon.
You literally brought Montreal to
Yeah, I
Vietnam.
had to. I need some French around me. But that's the cool thing about Vietnam is like you meet one person and then they bring you to their friends and then you meet the other person and you meet it's just so quick to meet one person and then meet their whole entire group. And then from that group there's one person you like and then it just grows and grows and grows. I'm in the hospitality and like F&B scene, so I got to meet more people in that world. And for my previous job, I did a lot of networking events. I got to meet a lot of people and then some people stuck. Some didn't,
Yeah, just
which
like
is
life.
normal.
Yeah.
And I'm very blessed to say after 3 years, I finally found a really strong group of friends that I can really rely on
Yeah.
and relatable, and it just took time. I feel like friendships here are so transient. I'm friends with you for 4 days and then you're leaving to Canada. Or I'm friends with you for a month and then your internship ends. So those kind of friendships, like fun for 10 days. And then, so it was harder for me to find a solid
Yeah.
group. But I hang out with the very cool
Cool girls.
cool girlies of or
Saigon.
at least in my heart they're cool girlies. I
Yeah.
don't know if everybody perceives them that way. But we're all very,
You're like, yeah, my friends are so cool, but I don't know how they're ranked in the society.
no, I would like to rank them high. But yes, more in the I guess people that are similar
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
That, studied abroad and speaks English, have fun.
Yeah.
Open to doing different things.
Yeah, I find making friends as an adult different
So
ballgame.
hard.
Making friends as an adult while moving to a new city, that's hard mode,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's hard mode. because it's exciting at first. You get the high of, oh my gosh, like Emily in Paris, like I'm living in a new city, right? Like Chang in Saigon. But then like things settle, like the dust settles in, and you're like, okay, who are my friends?
Who are my friends?
Who are my partner in crime? You know, if I like, and
I don't know if it's an age thing or like a age like you mature thing, or is it like a city thing? I'm not sure, because like I got to find my real friends after I went through stuff. You know, it didn't just happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's because I grew older and then like my boundaries are stronger or something.
Yeah.
But I would like to believe it's both. Like the city grew on me, and then my new friendship also grew to becoming more mature. And but friendship is like a whole topic that I struggled a lot in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So I think after 3 years of learning more about myself and the people I hang out with, you can tell now who is good and who's good for you at the moment and who's good for certain things.
That is very interesting perspective you give, because you imagine that Saigon is such a vibrant city.
It is.
People come and go. There's so many interesting people, similar age range or similar hopes and ambitions. But there's a ephemeral scent to it because everyone's here for their own purpose in many ways, and it also means like friendships is hard to stick. Right?
And some people do not prioritize that. If they come to Vietnam, like I come to Vietnam for work, I come to Vietnam for, a lot of people come here to find a husband, find a wife, or their purpose is very strong and friendship might not be their first priority. Compared to me, I value my friendships a lot. So that's something I had to like work on a lot. Like how can I not put too much into a friendship and then be sad about it afterwards, you know? But I think that's like a general life lesson. It's not necessarily something to do with Saigon itself. But
it's more like life.
Yeah, I think that would hit your face at any city.
Yeah, and I feel like I would, like I live in Toronto right now, and I could tell you the same thing, that, like the same life lessons you learn about like friends in your 20s in general. I mean, I'm not in my 30s, I don't know what that world's like, but like just friends in your 20s, right? And so it's not even just Saigon specific, I think it feels like a big city specific, and 20s, in life, like friends in your 20s, like people come and go, people have different life goals, people's values shift, you mature as this person, and so do other people, and they might form a different value systems than yours. Yeah.
I think it's important that you find your solid group. If you're here, find your solid group. And
how do you find your solid group? If I were to move, how would you, here's a 10-step
101, how to make friends in Vietnam.
In Vietnam.
I think for me, in Vietnam, it's so easy to say yes.
There's so many fun things
do you want to go for chow at 8 p.m.? Yeah. Do you want to go for up at 4 a.m.? Yeah. It's so easy to say yes. So sometimes you're just faced with a million group of friends, and you're like, oh my gosh, but who do I want to hang out with really if I just wanted to go for a chill coffee? And I think that was a moment where I realized who are the people that I wanted to stick with more. Like the person where I'm like, okay, I'm feeling down, or I'm feeling like just want to chill. Or at least that was the vibe I had. There were just a handful of people that I can really call, and they would be like, yeah, let's go. The rest, it's more like I go to pickleball with you, I go to the gym with you, I go clubbing with you, I go work with you. You have friendships for everything, which is fine. And I think that's how you categorize and not put too much expectation to a friendship. And that's what I learned here. Because in Canada, my friendships are like, we do everything together. We go to the gym together, we go party together, we have tea time together, we go babysit together, we do everything together. And then I come here and I'm like, I can't do clubbing and boxing with the same person. I can't.
Because they don't do the same thing.
Yeah, they just do not, it's not their vibe. Why would you expect them to do both? So that for me was like a completely new thing that I had to unlearn, actually. That's something that will help you, and the moment you will find that group, that solid group, is the one that can do a little bit of everything
with you.
So
then it sounds like when you first move, you just have to say yes, right? Even if it gets overwhelming, and when it does, you just take a step back for yourself, but then you try to say yes, and then it kind of happens.
I think the opposite. Learn how to say no. Don't say yes.
That is so
try to learn how to say
counterintuitive.
Yeah. Because you will want to say yes to everything.
There's so many things to do.
There's no coat to put on, no boots to put on. You just go. Just
Yeah.
call your Grab and Go. I'll wait for
Yeah.
you. It's 10 minutes away.
Yeah, yeah. So it's about like
the-
spending,
yes.
knowing.
It's when to say no.
That's a good problem to have.
Is it? I don't know. I'm like constantly sick
She's
last
like-
year because I was like saying yes too much.
She's like, careful what you wish for.
Yeah, we'll see you next year.
It sounds like it's so exciting, you know, it sounds so fun moving here. So then, when was a moment when you feel lonely? There's just so many things exciting around you. There's a lot of invites. You have to learn how to say no. I wish I have that problem. Maybe I do
think you
not. Maybe I
will.
do not wish that.
No, you will when you come here for sure.
Let's not wish that yet. But yeah, when was the moment when, you know, like in a crowded room, you feel like, wow, I'm kind of lonely. Yeah.
Oh, what a deep question. When do
Yeah.
you feel lonely? I felt loneliest when I just moved here, I met some people and they always wanted to just go party. That's all they wanted to do.
Yeah.
But we were 22. I mean, duh, that's all you wanted to do, you know?
Yeah.
Go drink and go do this and stay up late. And then I realized that I miss my brunch. I miss my coffee time with my girls. I miss going to paint in a park, you know, like a very
Like a
wholesome, yeah, have a
sleepover.
cute sleepover and watch a movie. Like that moment when I did not have the people to call to do those things, or at least I thought I had, and then I called them up and they're like, that's not interesting to us. That's when I realized, oh shoot, what I actually like, I'm not hanging out with the right people. Despite me, I like to party, don't get me wrong, but it's just, I don't feel like that's what friendship should be based upon. So
Yeah.
then that made me realize, oh, that's not really, I can't really relate to them that much. I've always, you know, grown up in a mindset where you work for your money type of mindset as well. Everything I spend, I made myself. And I want to be mindful of my spending, for example, and stuff like that. I wasn't hanging out with the right people. So that was the moment where I was like, ooh, you kind of hit a low here. Time to dig yourself back up. And I truly believe that you attract what you give out, the energy you give out. And my energy back then was very dark. But now it's like more, you know, I'm more open to meeting new people. I'm more open to doing more things. And naturally, you see people differently.
Yeah.
And that's how I got out of it. But yeah, the beginning of my time in Vietnam was
Yeah.
a little lonely. And I
Yeah.
missed my friends
Yeah.
from Canada a lot.
Yeah. So during those dark time, how did you ground yourself or get yourself out?
I think I needed time to be alone. I'm extremely extroverted. I don't know if you can tell. She makes a bed, she does all I'm extremely extroverted.
No
I
way.
like I love having people around me, and I had to learn how to be by myself. I did not know how to be alone. Like still now. If you tell me like hang out by yourself for a full week, I'll be like, that's kind of scary.
In my own thoughts? No way.
Please do not make me think. That's not true. But I needed time to just learn how to be by myself and be happy with what I have. And I managed to slowly crawl out there. But you never
Yeah.
can do it by yourself. You
Yeah.
will meet people on the way that will help
Yeah.
you out.
Yeah.
And fortunately, there's always somebody like you out there. You know,
Yeah.
some divine
Manifest.
universe thing will put the right person on your path. If you believe that someone there that will help you pull you out of this, then
Yeah.
it's good to have hope. So yeah, I think hope and
Yeah.
alone time.
Here's a more tactical question. How do you turn small talks into surface conversations into something deeper when you're going to an event? I'm attending an offline collective event, and then I meet all these amazing people, and then you're okay, you're cool, and you sound like you have a lot of cool story, but what's next? How do I dig deeper?
I think you are literally speaking to the queen of small talk.
That's the most Canadian answer ever. For context, for those of you who don't know Canadians, we are culturally trained for small talk.
We're so good at small
We're
talk.
so good at small. We're so good at. That was a big culture shock when I first came from Vietnam to Toronto.
Yeah.
And it was like I'm like attending parties. It's first year. It's exciting. I'm like I want to make my besties, right? Meet
Yeah.
my bestie in my first year. Didn't happen. How surprising, because Canadians can
Literally.
spend. This is me putting on my Vietnamese hat.
it
Canadian
on.
can spend like 2
Hours.
hours, like a solid 2 hours, like me and you one-on-one talking about absolutely
Nothing.
horseshit. Like nothing.
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 And
I
it's like
come
a
out,
fun
like-
conversation.
And it's like a fun conversation. You're like,
100.
oh, which coffee shop do you go to? What coffee beans do you take? What's the other coffee shop that you take? And then it goes
That is so
on.
funny. I have never, nobody has ever said that to me, but that makes so much sense actually.
Yeah.
But I
don't
think-
know what it is.
I think
We're
it's like a
just-
polite thing. We're so
Yeah.
polite. We don't want to offend you or.
Yeah.
I think it's a very Canadian thing.
It's
but
so
It's a
Canadian.
Canadian thing, but it's also the school I went to. Our first impression was the most important out of all. We were taught you don't have a second chance
Yes.
for second, right? We don't have a second chance for first impression. So
Yeah.
you always have to like be your best, stand up straight, look good, da 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 da. So for me, I do well in networking settings because I learn how to small talk, but I also stand very properly. But that sometimes can create such a big barrier because people cannot surpass that. And even myself sometimes, I cannot dig deeper because I have this big surface that you have to like respect. What I've learned recently, and this was one of my last OV event that I went to, the Overseas Vietnamese, while ago, I met a group of people. And instead of mingling, I sat down with them and I spoke to them for the 2 hours of the networking, which goes against a whole networking thing. However, we're great friends. I still hang out with all three of them to this day. I think that's when you find somebody you click with and then you take your time to actually sit with them, it changes. It's different. But it depends on your purpose. If your purpose to that networking event is actually to have leads, sales leads, go throw your business card around. Go put your QR code on your phone and let them scan it. But if your purpose is to meet people and connect with them, and I truly believe strong connections, actually the ROI coming out of it is way stronger because people would trust you more. Like one of my closest friends here, I met her through work. And before actually doing any kind of work with her, we became really good friends. And from this point on, anything that she does, she always asks me, or vice versa. So I got myself a loyal client. So I think it was to establish that, take your time to really talk to them.
I find it's helpful because I think I'm like an ambivert, meaning like, oh, I'm
Both,
like
right?
default on the introvert side, but then I can be social when I want to.
So are you, which way do you lean more towards?
Okay, so my Myers-Briggs set, it's like my horoscope sharing. My Myers-Briggs set, I'm 51% extrovert, 49 introvert. And I'm like, that's
like-
not helpful. That's not helpful at all.
Fair. So
yeah,
you're a tiny bit more
yeah,
extrovert.
that 2% is so annoying, you know? I'm like, I have to navigate in between my identity my whole life, and now you're telling me the one thing that science can give me, and you can't even fucking tell me if I'm extrovert or introvert. Just tell me.
Just can you somebody tell me? That is so funny. That is hilarious.
Like, if you give me like a weekend of being at home and watching Sex and the City, yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's nice. But then can I do it for 2 weekends? I'm like, no, not really. I do need
so
that
the
little
2% is actually true. More
Yeah,
accurate. That's
so-
your 2%. That's so funny.
Yeah. But going back to what I was gonna say, when I was trying to make friends in Toronto for the first time, I was like so shy, I was so nervous because like this whole culture thing and like everyone's so small talks. I would literally have in my notes app,
No.
I prepare 10 questions to ask.
No way.
And then I'll go through with these Canadians and be like,
Where's your favorite hockey
yeah,
player?
why
Who's your
are
favorite
you,
hockey player?
yeah, it's like what inspired you to pursue this major?
No way.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it
That's
kind
such a
of,
good tip, actually.
yeah, and I think like it trained me, I think from that exercise, it trained me to asking better questions. Over time, it built a muscle. It's kind of like when you first start learning how to run, you have to learn all these technical stuff, and then you like learned over time, and then it became more intuitive.
Yeah.
And now it became natural for me to ask better questions. Yeah.
You know what? We're gonna go slightly off, but just let me know if I go too far.
Yep.
I had a cultural awareness training this week
No.
from my
Of
company.
yourself?
No. So my company, they're a mix of a lot of type of people, like from all different backgrounds. And we had trouble communicating because a lot of our management is from the UK and others are from Pakistan and others are from Dubai and I'm from Vietnam. There was too many cultures being blended in, and communication was a really big part of our, like, something to work on. You have to take this test. I really don't remember the name. It looks like 3 color test and the 12 dimension test or something like that.
Okay.
And I got a whole 1 hour training going through my results after my survey. And the HR lady said, it's very rare that you see somebody, because the test has 12 dimensions, 12 different points, where on each spectrum would represent whether you are more culturally agile or not. Which side do you stick on?
Yeah.
Are you more traditional, or are you more innovative? Or are you more, do you stick more on your like Asian side, or do you stick more on your Western side? And she said it's very rare, because it's like a little like a dotting system, that a person can have everything straight in the middle. That means you're very culturally agile.
Wow.
That you can put yourself in any situation culturally and you would be able to navigate. And she says you're one of the few people that can really stick in the middle, because my chart was like a straight line. And I explained to her it's because of this, and you probably would have in the middle as well. You're training yourself on how to adapt in Canada, but then when you come here, you already know how to behave here. And it's a really big skill that not a lot of people have. And I was so happy when I heard that. I'm like, this is the nicest thing anybody has said to me. So I think that was so interesting, because it explains so much, you know, especially when you work in an environment where I work with Africans, I work with Middle Eastern men and women and African teenagers, and like there's so many different personalities that I need to navigate, and I think that helped me a lot, like knowing how to fix my
that's
face.
actually a really, that's nice. I'm glad I hope I'll get this straight. Like,
Yeah, I'll send you the test.
But yeah, I guess it's kind of validating in many ways. In a selfish way, it's like it feels validated that my struggle was worth it.
We'll be good leaders.
It has a clear ROI.
Finally.
Because you're right. Like if I talk to someone who is from a quote unquote like more collectivist culture, generally warmer, generally more open to be vulnerable to strangers. I can jump into that. But then I can also be in an environment where the person came from like a more individualistic culture, and they hold their cards closer to their heart. And I'm like, sure, I can 2 hours small talks, no problem, right? You've been trained to do both.
That's such an asset.
And it's sometimes I wish I am not 51 and 49%, because then a lot of times you just don't feel like you belong to either world, and you belong somewhere in the middle, and it does feel lonely at times when you feel like, oh, like I want to celebrate this, but I also am not X, Y, and Z enough. Like that word, I'm not enough, right? Of certain things. But then eventually you kind of like accept, and you navigate. Okay, if I'm not belonging to either world perfectly, I'll just belong to my world. And
I love that so much. That's so cute. We belong in our own world.
You belong in our own world, and then you bring people into your world.
I love it. I love that. I think that's exactly how we should see it. We're not different. We just are from our own world.
So let's talk a little bit about Offline Collective.
Yes, my favorite topic.
So that's how we
met last week.
Okay, so to be honest, I don't believe in this voodoo vision boarding stuff. I'm a checklist girly. I do checklists every year.
Which is fair,
Which
somewhat of a vision board.
Also realized it's just a different medium or a different way to visualize vision board.
Correct.
But when I came in, I'm like, oh, what's this like voodoo bullshit? But you know what? Our mutual friend invited us, and I came, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this a try, and I came out so empowered, so inspired.
Oh, that makes me feel so happy.
And I think I would love to do it more often.
You should.
Because I felt like, vision boarding was that session, or maybe just like the way that you guys ran it. I actually spoke to a lot of people within my table who are also like, I didn't really believe in this vision board thing, but coming out of it very excited by our first draft of our vision board. So anyway, that's how we met, and would love to do a quick 30-second pitch on what is Offline Collective.
Quick 30-second. Offline Collective literally started as me and my friend Chris, another fellow Canadian. We just wanted to do something fun with our friends. And so we just sat at a brewery one day and said, wouldn't it be so funny if we did like just a silly trivia night here? And then the owner of the brewery was like, dude, just do it, whatever. And he was so chill about it. And I'm like, okay. So I just randomly posted it on my Instagram. Hey guys, we're just hosting trivia night. Just come if you want to. But for me, what was important is that we need to have some sort of meaning behind it. Like, I'm not just gonna make a trivia night in a bar. So then I told Chris I would like that if we were to make any money out of this, that we would give it to charity. Because to be honest, it's such a small amount that we can really help others. But it was just nothing. Like, I just called up a friend. I'm like, hey, can you give me a gift voucher because you love me? And they're like, okay. And then another one like, hey, can you just come to my trivia night because you love me? And I don't know who else. And somehow 80 people showed up.
What?
I'm like, what happened? Like, how did this
What?
happen?
Yeah.
And then Chris has some friends and the friends of friends, and I had some friends and friends of friends, and somehow we booked up the whole entire place.
Wow.
It was so hectic, our first one. And ever since then, the demand kept on coming in. And we were like, okay, maybe this is a thing. Let's do another one and another one. And ever since then, we try to do meaningful, fun ways to meet new people. And I'm so proud of what we did. Literally was not supposed to be what it is today.
Yep.
And then we did our first collab with Hugh, the Vision Board UK. I did an offsite one in Montreal. I did one trivia night in Montreal. Chris did like a few in different locations. And yeah, it's crazy. It's just blew up and people still want to go. I don't know how much more fun facts I'm filled up with.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun way of meeting new people. And now it's just like people literally are trivia friends.
Yeah.
I went to a pickleball social event recently.
Because of
And
trivia.
these two guys said like, we met through trivia and that's why we
What?
go pickleball together.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
People met and they started dating through trivia.
Wow.
Insane. And I'm like, this is so cool that you guys found
Yeah.
that place. So I'm happy to bring that here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that the trivia population is that big.
I didn't think
I'm
so
like-
as well. I wish you came to one of our trivias, but trivia for us is not like just fun facts. Like we have mini games, we have fun prizes, we have like actual reason for you to go talk to your neighbor. So we have these human bingos where you have to run around and ask, do you have
that's so
do you have a red
fun.
bra on?
Yeah.
Do you know how to speak Italian?
Yeah.
And then they just run around. So we did that one. We had like paper airplane contest, come up and sing.
Yeah.
So it's more interactive, and I think that's what people enjoy more. I don't know. Maybe we're starting a new trivia
Starting
culture.
something. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, no, that's from the sound of it, it's not just another trivia night. It's actually very intentionally designed to connect humans with humans.
Yeah.
It's not just about fun facts testing.
Yes,
it's also
correct.
about like human
Just have fun.
bingos and
Yeah.
just having fun, and that makes your trivia night different.
Yeah, and I
from-
think that's the whole point of Offline Collective is we try, like this is a prime example, all of our trivias are on paper, pen and paper. The only one time we did it on the phone, nobody liked it.
Yeah.
Because we could do a Kahoot. There's so many ways of making it more easier,
Yeah.
right? They didn't like it. So clearly people have an ask for being offline more. And so the vision board, it worked because initially we were like, oh, maybe they can scan a QR code and do it on their Pinterest. But that just goes against the whole entire idea, right? You could do that at home.
Yeah.
Why would you do it? And I think my aim now is to just, yes, do trivia, but more offline events because clearly people want to meet
Do
others
more, yeah.
with an activity and not just necessarily, hi, my name is, you know what I mean? If you have something to do, it actually is
Yeah.
more fun.
What's the most complex, or actually, what's the worst project that you've worked on with Offline Collective?
Oh my gosh.
Let's go spicy.
Oh my god.
You don't have to name names. Just tell us a story.
I have
and
a
if you
really
don't
good
like
one
it,
for
we'll
you.
edit it out.
No, I have a really good one for you.
Yeah.
Offline Collective for me is a passion project. Like this is not my full-time job at
Yeah.
all. And I put a lot of heart into it because I want the event to be an event that I would want to attend. So I always try to put so much effort and love. And that's not just me, like the whole entire group. So me, Chris, and Tiff, we're three, and we work really hard on this. And one time, we were supposed to have trivia in one location. 2 days before the trivia, and that was our biggest one yet. I think we were 110 people that signed
Wow.
up prior. 2 days before, the location told us, sorry guys, you can't do it here anymore.
What?
I-
That is insane.
It was so bad. And
Yeah.
that was the moment where Chris is he was an ex-McKinsey consultant. So it's very sharp with the way he thinks. I'm more of like, let's do this and that and that, you know. And so we had to sit together and be like, what do we do? Do we cancel it? Do we find a new location? Who's going to take 110 people in one go? What do we do? What do we
in
say
2
to our
days.
sponsors? Because we had a long list of sponsors. Do we tell them that we move location? Do we tell them that we don't need your prizes anymore? It was such a mess. Like we didn't sleep for 2 days. And my biggest thing is I didn't want that to hinder the image of Offline Collective because they cancel the event. Thankfully, that initial location, they were very kind to still support us on other things. Like, oh, we can't provide you the space, but we can provide you with, maybe if your space needs a microphone and like a speaker, we can get that for you. Or if you need an extra screen, we'll get that for you. So I was very blessed that they were nice. They were friends as well. So I can't say anything bad about them, but it was just the situation itself made me realize, oh shit, that's what it is to have a business. And what do you do? What is problem solving? I had no idea what to do. And I called up literally every single person I know in Saigon. Do you have a park? I really didn't care because I know that people came to the trivia for trivia and not necessarily for the venue, right? So I was like, oh my gosh, what do we do? What do we do? So we were on the phone till 3 a.m. Do we do it here? But what if they don't want it there? Blah, 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 blah. Do they understand what trivia is? Can they set up the tables for us? And then thank our lucky star, we called our big bro, the place where we started trivia with. We're like, dude, can you please help? And it was during Halloween weekend. So,
the worst weekend.
And then he was like, we have a group, but let me move them around. And thankfully, he moved his group that was supposedly in the space where we would have taken up to another area. So then we had the whole area.
Wow.
So we had to fully shift our whole entire game to a new venue that didn't suit the venue. Because our initial idea was like this.
Like scavenger hunt?
No. The initial idea was very like ball gowns and suits and like very chic. And then we moved it to a more casual setting. But people already got their costumes. People already got plans. We did lose some people on the way, but new ones came in, so that was nice. But at the end of the day, it all turned out well. Like people showed up, we made money for the charity that we raised. We raised money for the charity that we put up, but it was so crazy. And that was the moment me and Chris were like, dude, if you want to make this into a business, we need to think about it a little bit more.
Like crisis management.
Because this was a really good example of all the things that could potentially happen that I still was working on my full-time job on the side, so it was a lot of like unnecessary stress. But I learned a lot from it. And now any venue we work with, I'm like, I need a contract. I need you to sign it. I need you to send it to us, because we didn't.
Verbal.
Yeah, because they were friends, and it's fair. It's totally fair. Like I think we're really much based out of friendship. Here, like it's just friendship building all the time.
Like social contract.
It's oh, you want to do it here? Yeah, do it, girl. We got you. We got your back. We don't need a contract. It worked until it didn't.
It was a learning lesson.
100%. And that kind of discouraged us for a quick minute, but we picked ourselves back up.
That's actually a good transition to my next question, which is like, what makes a successful offline event?
The people. The people, definitely. We encourage even the ones that are more introverted to go speak to others. So even if it's not your usual crowd, you will still be able to meet somebody. And I think that's what made the events fun and meaningful. But 100% the people. I could make a shitty trivia game and they wouldn't care. They just wanted to meet somebody new. So I'm grateful that we've not, I hope, not done a bad trivia until now. But I think we facilitated a lot of conversations, which is fun.
And what's the biggest learning lesson that you learned about yourself from this running offline collective?
I never knew how much fun ideas I had until I got offline collective. I've always had it in my head. I'm like that key friend in a friend group that calls you up and be like, would you like to do this crazy thing? And I never thought that it could be monetized or become something. So that was cool that anything that was here that came to life, and that's why I love events so much, is that, and it's working hand in hand with my actual job and what I'm doing for Offline Collective. Everything I do comes to life, and that is so rewarding. And that's something that I learned through the year, not necessarily through Offline Collective, is if you put a lot of work into it, you see your results right away. If you don't, you actually see it right away. Compared to other line of work where it takes time. It has a lot of layers of people going to check it out. And I'm like, no, if tomorrow you go to an event and it sucks, it's all me. But if it's all good, then it's also the teamwork, you know? So that's something that I learned that I really liked.
Wow. So Offline Collective started as trivia night. So it's still your bread and butter. And then you have the Sunset Vision Board.
Yes.
What is in store for Offline Collective in 2025?
Oh, good question. I don't know. But I do know that we want to do more non-trivia events. Clearly it worked for the Sunset Visioning. But I would love to do more events where people come for a purpose, not necessarily just trivia.
Yeah.
I don't know, presenting about something. And there's so many cool events happening around Saigon. I don't want to compete with that. That's not the idea. But yeah, a lot of fun things. But I think we need time to figure that out.
Yeah, sounds good. And then, so I'm excited to attend more when I'm in the city. Because Sunset Vision Board was such a wonderful event. It was so well organized.
Thank you.
Especially when it came with knowing like 2 people. And it was just like coming out like feeling very good about the year ahead. So thank you for hosting that event.
Thank you for coming. Are you kidding? It wouldn't have happened if you guys didn't come. So I was so scared that nobody would show up.
Yeah,
I was like,
full.
I did not expect that. I literally, when we put out the registration form, we had 5 registrations. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever happens, we do this for fun. So like, why push on marketing? Why do all of that? I'm doing this for people to think back about their year, and if nobody wants to think about their year, then let them be. It's not my purpose. I'll sit down and do my vision board. But I guess it resonated with more people than we expected. And I worked with Hue, the card game.
Tell us a little bit about a little intro about Hue for those who don't know.
So Hue is actually a really cool, fun card game that was created by, I think she is Vietkieu actually. And she wanted to do some sort of way to connect with your surrounding, but in a more Vietnamese way. That really resonated with me when I first met her. And I'm like, girl, we need to do something together. And it worked because I think it was a nice way of you to connect with the person that's sitting next to you. And then from there, it made you more comfortable. I don't know, you did the workshop, I didn't. I don't know, did it make you feel more comfortable with the people you were around after playing the game?
And I also love the fact that Hue deck cards is bilingual.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So it's in Vietnamese as well, and I think that was in many ways like the not the first time, but like a few times where I get to express thoughts, feelings, complex emotions, and in Vietnamese.
I love that.
And actually bought the deck of cards and played with my parents.
No way.
Yeah, we played it together.
Oh my gosh, there's an ROI.
Yeah, as a family. Can you imagine Viet parents sitting down talking about their emotions? That's crazy.
That's insane. I can't
That's
imagine.
crazy.
No,
like,
I cannot imagine.
Self-reflection.
Can you
what a luxury.
Take a picture next time?
I'll send you. We did take a video, record a video of it.
Aww.
I wanted to spin into a podcast out of it, but
it's a great idea.
It's very personal.
But I think the questions are well written for you to speak with your parents.
Yes.
Because compared to other games that exist out there, I think the way they word it is more appropriate. Do you see what I mean? So
so it was really good.
It was a very girly workshop, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Chris, my co-host, he was like, you know what? Even if it's only girlies, it's okay. I'm like, yeah, because we know what's going on.
We prepare for our year, surprisingly. And so what advice would you give someone who wants to build community, move to a new city, but feels shy and awkward?
I think moving into a new city is meeting a lot of people, but just knowing who you want to hang out with most takes a lot of time, and be patient. Don't expect the first 4 people you meet to be the 4 people you will hang out with for the rest of the time in that city. And it's okay that because thanks to those 4 people, you probably met 4 other people, and 4 other people, and 4 other people. And once you find those nice group of like handful of friends that can show you the way, then you're going to be so good. You're going to be constantly surrounded and learning every single day something new. Be patient. It's going to come. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you agree?
Yeah, I think I really agree with that. I think it's a mindset prep, right? Making new friends, whether you're shy or not shy, it's hard. On a more tactical advice, going back to when I first moved to Canada, attending social events was terrible.
Daunting.
It's daunting.
Yeah.
But for every event, I basically set out a goal. I'm like, it's a good event if I have one good conversation.
Yeah, totally.
And that's all I need.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna have one really good conversation.
That's a good mindset to have.
And then I can leave. Yeah, and then that's it. And I think that really helped with setting smaller goals, and also don't think of yourself as a shy person. Why don't you reframe that and think of, I am more selective as a person and would like to formulate deeper connections. And I think that's a way to reframe how you identify yourself.
I think just the fact that you're in a new city you're
Yeah.
already doing such a good job.
Yeah.
Do not put the pressure of, I'm in a new city, I need to meet a million new people, I need to do all of the new things. Like, I think that's, for me, that's what I learned about
Yeah.
moving here. Is that I arrive and I'm like, I need 100 friends. I need to know all the
Yeah.
new places. I need to know everything. But the fact that you're already in a new city, you're already doing most of the job. That's it.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay that you don't know everyone and that you don't have, you know, like, you don't know everywhere yet. But with time and the right people, you will meet them. Or you go to offline collective events and you can make new friends.
Exactly. Go to trivia.
Small plug.
Thank you, Sun Trang, for coming here today with Viet Boss Babes. And so before we wrap up, I usually love to do a little rapid Q&A in Vietnamese.
Oh my
For
gosh.
my guests who are comfortable in Vietnamese, and I have heard you talking Vietnamese. So it will just be 3 fun rapid questions. So mình sẽ đổi mốt sang tiếng Việt.
Just what transition? What?
Mình sẽ đổi mốt sang tiếng Việt. Và trước khi chúng mình kết lại cuộc trò chuyện hôm nay thì chúng mình sẽ đến với màn thả phanh.
Thả phanh.
Thả phanh, so like no breaks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mau. Okay.
Yeah. Mia sẽ đặt ra 3 câu hỏi chớp nhoáng và Trang sẽ đưa ra câu trả lời nhanh nhất có thể, không được lưỡng lự.
Okay.
Trang đã sẵn sàng chưa?
Dạ chưa, but it's okay. Không sao.
Không sao.
Từ từ.
Oh my god.
Okay, Mia.
Turn on your Vietnamese brain.
Dạ.
Nếu phải chọn một món ăn Việt Nam để ăn đến cuối đời, Trang sẽ chọn món gì?
Okay, mà trong cái trường hợp này, món Việt mình là nó nhiều món.
Cũng được.
Ok, được nha, chứ không phải là một món.
Một món,
ok. Sơn Trang rất là mê, như là nếu mà trong hết cuộc đời á thì canh chua cá chiên xả với cơm. Cho ăn cái đó mỗi ngày cũng được. No problem.
No problem.
Ăn cái đó mỗi ngày luôn.
Dạ là rất là món quê nhà.
Dạ, mẹ mỗi lần mà về nhà là mẹ sẽ làm cái món đó mà chưa biết nấu.
Mà chưa biết nấu. Thì hôm nay tối hôm nay về là phải
học làm canh chua.
Ok, và một cuốn sách mà Trang muốn giới thiệu tới mọi người.
Một cuốn sách Sơn Trang không phải là đang đọc, đã đọc rồi, mà của Unreasonable Hospitality. Rất là hay. Mà chắc tại vì Sơn Trang làm việc trong cái ngành đó, với cái cuốn sách đó nó relate với Sơn Trang nhiều hơn. But Unreasonable Hospitality, Will Guidera.
Và câu hỏi cuối cùng là một tiêu chí mà Sơn Trang muốn đạt được trong năm nay.
Sơn Trang muốn biết viết tiếng Việt với dấu. Tại bây giờ là Sơn Trang nhắn tin không có dấu. Tại vì mình không có biết cái telex. Sơn Trang muốn viết tiếng Việt với dấu và nói chuyện với người ta bằng tiếng Việt kiểu chuẩn hơn.
Okay, that's a really big goal, and any of us can help you here.
Yes, please.
I can help you with this. So, which friend would you recommend to be on the podcast next?
Woohoo! I love this question.
Why?
The new addition to this. Which friend? I would highly recommend you to interview Ms. Mimi Chuong. She is the founder of Elgin, which is one of the coolest restaurants in town, in my opinion.
Cool.
She is probably the most hardworking person I know, and she really showed me the ropes around Saigon.
Okay.
She is awesome.
Cool.
And I really hope you get to speak to her.
Okay, well,
I'll connect her to
you.
you.
Respond to my DM.
I'll connect her to you, no worries.
And last thing,
Yes.
How can the audience support you in your ventures?
Oh, that's so cute. Well, you can go follow me on Instagram, but you can also go
What
follow
is your Instagram handle?
my Instagram handle at NG Sun Jang or Offline Collective. Or actually, if you have the time, please go check out all of the charities that we've supported on Offline Collective. That would be a great way of supporting us.
Amazing. Thank you, Sunshine, for your
Thank
time.
you, Mia.
Okay, that was really good.
Good job,